All right, big news at the Snoqualmie Casino in the summer. I almost forgot. Sorry about the jumpy cam here. I don't think I was trying very hard. The doors are back. That's right. For those of you who have been following the news at the Snoqualmie Casino, they took the doors off of the poker room about a year and a half ago. And it only took them a year to figure out that taking the doors off of a climate-controlled room, not good for business. So business dropped off. We agitated. I bought an air quality monitor, started posting some air quality readings on Twitter. I may or may not have posted this image, inferring that it may be the 3 executives responsible for the decision. But anyway, doors are back. Good news for the poker room, so come on back. Air's great. All right, as promised, let's talk about a couple of hands. This was a fun one. I got dealt Ace-Jack on the button, and under the gun opens for 20. Middle position, a loose player calls. He calls quite a lot. And so I could 3-bet here on the button, but it looks like we're going to see this flop 3 ways, so there's no real reason for me to raise. Looks like the blinds are going to fold, which they do, and so we do see this flop 3 ways. Flop comes down, 3, Jack, 8, rainbow, so I get top pair, top kicker, pretty strong hand. We're not very deep here. I think the effective stacks are about 60 big blinds, so no reason to go real crazy and outthink this one. Under the gun leads out for $40. Middle position calls. I call as well. Turn is the 3 of diamonds. Pretty good card for me, although middle position can have pretty much anything. And then the under the gun player opens ships. Middle position pretty much snap calls. Now, I don't know, I suppose I could come up with a fold here, but we're just not deep enough to think about it too much, so I call off all my chips. And under the gun rolls over the King-Jack offsuit, which is just fantastic news for my hand. And middle position rolls over the 10 of diamonds, 9 of diamonds for any real equity in this pot at this point. So he flops the open ender and turns the diamond draw. At this point, I am counting my money and I am dreaming of Vegas and the Mirage. Unfortunately for my team, the turn completes. I can't remember what it was. It was either the straight or the flush, but middle position player collects the massive pot and plays 2 more hands, cashes out, goes home. That's all right. It happens. Happy to get my money in there. Very good equity for me. All right, this next hand was a little bit brutal. I get dealt Jack 10 of spades on the button. Under the gun +1 opens to 20. This time I look over at the blinds, and it looks as if both blinds are going to call. So I have a chance to see a 4-way pot in position with a great hand for exactly that spot. So I elect to call. And sure enough, the 2 blinds come along. So we see this flop 4 ways. Flop comes down Queen, 10-4 with 1 spade. Pretty good. I flop middle pair. There are a number of turn cards that can come off that are good for my hand. I may have the best hand, but under the gun +1 does lead out. So again, I'm trying to figure out what's going to happen. I choose to call, and one of the blinds comes along. So we see the turn card 3 ways. Turn is a 10 of diamonds. Just bang the gin card right on the turn. So under the gun +1 checks. I choose to bet 75 into the pot, and the large blind folds, and the under the gun +1 player comes along. River's worst card in the deck for me. It's the Queen of Clubs, and so now the only thing I really beat is an overpair on the flop. I don't know if an overpair is actually going to check that turn, but under the gun +1 decides to ship on this card. I suppose I can get away from it here. I mean, I only have bottom boat. I'm only beating a bluff. It's $175 to call here. I probably should fold, but I'm a donkey, so I call. And sure enough, I get shown the Queen Jack suited for the rivered full house. So it was a suck and a resuck, so that's fine. I can live with that. Questionable play here. Maybe I didn't need to come in at all, but I mean, if I start folding Jack 10 suited on the button and play it any differently than I did, except for maybe the river call, I have no business playing poker. So 2 hands there that I lost. It's too bad. One I got my money in fairly good. One I got my money in pretty much as bad as I can get it in. Hey, it happens. All right, it's time for some old-fashioned run good with the rains coming. Let's get back in there, win some money, maybe make enough to buy another hat.